Okay, welcome to our channel once again. It's been a while posting, but life circumstances. But we are back at it again because we're making this video for Ghanaians in the diaspora, friends of Ghana, anyone that is interested in issues that are ongoing currently in Ghana and in the past 8 years of the Akuffo Addo government of friends and family. We did issue a video, release a video a while back, possibly about a year and a half ago, about the Ejapade document, which actually was a classified document for the NPP government under Akuffo Addo, and also under the Vice President, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, who is actually bottom right corner, who was the head of the economic management team of the Akuffo Addo government of friends and family. There has been so much that has gone on in the past 8 years. And obviously Ghanaians have been very patient. And so as of yesterday, the 7th of December 2024, Ghanaians headed to the polling station and have overwhelmingly spoken or made their voices known through the ballot box. This is a victory for Ghana on the basis of holding democratic governance and obviously composing themselves in following through successful election processes and now the election results. So as we can see here on the right corner, data collated for the results of the elections of the 7th of December 2024, we see here 32,297 out of the 40,976 polling stations. It appears that the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, polled 56.3%, which is 4,984,976 votes. Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, who was the head of the economic management team of the NPP administration for the past 8 years, and also the vice president of Ghana, failed to gain any success in this election. It appears that the NPP polled 41.2%, which is 3,688,757 votes. But this follows on from the Ejapade video or the Ejapade document, which was a classified document, which was also released once that information was known to the public of Ghana. And I think that this has been a real help in helping Ghanaians to decide on this occasion. So there has been a whole lot of issues ongoing. One, we look at things like Ghana's external borrowing. We look at Ghana's exchange rate. We look at Ghana's interest rates. We look at Ghana's inflation. It appears that Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, they claim to be the elites of Ghana under the NPP administration in 2016 when they came to power under the leadership of the then Nana Akuffo Addo's government of friends and family. When they came, they assured Ghanaians that they were the brains of Ghana. They were going to transform Ghana into this sort of a Malaysian economy. But as we know now, they have failed miserably and the results are telling. But Ghanaians shouldn't fool themselves of partisan politics, because this is the thing that has plagued our development, in the sense that every 4 years we go to the ballot box. The nation is divided into two, being the NPP and the NDC, and sometimes situations can be actually fatal where people lose their lives in these processes. But what we fail to understand is that Ghana is one nation, and people should be focusing on the development of Ghana, and a development that benefits its people, being Ghanaians. But when you have this polarized situation, which actually manifests every 4 years, you find that the country is not able to move forward, in the sense that governments come in, they make their promises. 4 years, they come back and tell you, we don't have adequate time. We cannot change everything in 4 years. Give us another 4 years. Ghanaians will normally listen and give that additional 4 years. But in the end, when they come in the second term, they focus on looting the nation's resources to plan their exit, because they know that after that 8 years, they will be gone. Then another party will take over, just as we have seen now. Last time it was the NDC, now then is the NPP, and then now is the NDC coming back again. However, people or Ghanaians, the Ghanaian electorate generally thinks that Mahama was a more accountable and responsible government compared to the Akuffo Addo government of friends and family. And this is why we see that overwhelming vote currently that is gone on in favor of President John Dramani Mahama. But if anything in the world, obviously events going on in the world is anything to go by, we see that John Dramani Mahama served for 4 years after Atamel's demise, and therefore he never had the opportunity to do the 8 years, the mandatory 8 years. And so we see him come back. Is this something similar to what we see in the US, where President Donald Trump also came in, and obviously situations were very chaotic, but he has also been given an overwhelming mandate to come back and basically lead the world. And so we see John Dramani Mahama coming back the second time. But what are Ghanaians asking for? So now, what Ghanaians are demanding is accountability and probity, in the sense that when these governments come to power, they don't actually probe or seek accountability, so that these outgoing government will loot the nation's coffers, basically run the economy to the ground, and expect another party to pick it off. And when they do, sometimes they declare the nation bankrupt, which is what we saw in the Akuffo's administration when the J.J. Rawlings administration left in the year 2000. That is from 1992 to the year 2000. They left and the coffers were empty. Therefore, President Akuffo then went for the epic, declared Ghana bankrupt, and eventually added about 4 zeros to the currency of Ghana. And now Ghana, the cedi has continued to depreciate in a way that is astronomical. It's actually almost shameful. The reason is that you basically remove 4 zeros from your previous currency. Therefore, when the currency is depreciating 1 to 2, it's actually 1 to 10,000 or 1 to 20,000. But we don't see it like that because of this 1 to 2 issue. But it really tells you that things have not been that great. And so what do we see here for the Akuffo Addo government of friends and family? The first thing that started to expose their governance, number one, they came in and pledged or basically promised Ghanaians free SHS, being the free education for all in Ghana. And this was the trick. This was a trick they used to blind Ghanaians. In effect, you know, people that can pay their children's school fees should be allowed to pay their children's school fees. And these resources should be concentrated on the people that cannot afford education for their children. Basically, you can have a means-tested procedure to ensure that those who don't have are the ones that are giving the free education. Ghanaians will come to that agreement that this whole free SHS thing was a shambles, was a lie to Ghanaians to basically blind them, whilst the Akuffo Addo government of friends and family looted Ghana's coffers. But where were they exposed? First, their exposure came in the extensive external borrowing. This is where they were exposed. So just to give you some perspective, you know, come the time that Rawlings took over, that is in 1979 with his coup, after the Champong IK Echampong and the WF Akuffo government, Ghana's external borrowing was actually in the millions of US dollars. It was very low because obviously Echampong refused to pay back foreign debts and therefore nobody was giving loans to Ghana. But Ghana operated on this operation feed yourself, and obviously they were able to look internally to address the economic issues of Ghana. Echampong was fairly successful, basically carrying on with the Nkrumah's development program for Ghana. He's given very less credit for the work that he did, but he is one of the outstanding head of states of Ghana, General I.K. Echampong. And then you have J.J. Rawlings takes over. By the time J.J. Rawlings left office in 2000, Ghana's external debts was probably, one would say, would have been around about, say, 7 billion US dollars, thereabout. This process basically carried on. And then the Akuffo, I think I'm making a mistake here. It was Akuffo's time that Ghana's external debts were accounted for round about, say, $7 billion. But Rawlings, I'm sure, may have left with a relatively lesser external debt. But Akuffo Addo's government became exposed around about the 2020 when we realized that whilst Akuffo left Ghana's external debt at $7 billion, Mahama had doubled it to 14 billion US dollars. That is in the 2012 to 2016. And so Akuffo Addo government took over and then started pushing up this external debt. Currently, Ghana's external debts stands at, it's estimated, sometimes it's not very clear when, they are talking these figures, but it's estimated between $32 billion to about $44.8 billion, depending on what indicators we use. So here, we are going to go back here to just have a quick look at what they are saying in this document here by CEIC, that is Economic Database cover for about 200 global markets. Here, they state here on the left, says Ghana external debts 2012 to 2024. And it says key information about Ghana's external debt. Ghana's external debt reaches 31.6 billion US dollars in July 2024 compared to 31 billion US dollars in the previous month. Ghana's external debt USD MN data is updated monthly, available from January 2012 to 2024. This is a period of 12 years. The data reaches an all-time high of 31.6 billion US dollars in July 2024 and on record low of 7.5 billion USD in August 2012. So this actually goes on to confirm what I mentioned about what Akuffo left, because Akuffo left office in 2008 and the NDC picked under Atta Mills, picked the economy up from then. And so as you can see here, as at August 2012, it was 7.5 billion US dollars. But now Akuffo Addo, since 2016, has pushed this debt to 31.6 billion US dollars. The question is, where is the money? And this is why we're making this video is about accountability and probity. Because now that Ghanaians have voted overwhelmingly for John Dramani Mahama, because he's done 4 years already, he has only 4 more years to do something to turn the economy around and to give assurance to Ghanaians to actually vote for the next NDC government to carry on. Now, how is he going to do this? A problem is, if you've had these looters being Akuffo Addo and his Achem Mafia or his clan looting so much money from Ghana, if they don't give this money back to the nation of Ghana, they've taken lands in Achimota, they've done extensive galamsey to exploit the land, they have damaged the river bodies of Ghana. We're going to go into the details of that. They've borrowed so much money. So the question is John Dramani Mahama going to set up a probity and accountability a task force to recover all assets, state assets that have been looted by the Akuffo Addo government for family and friends? Is he going to do that now that he has been given that overwhelming power? From what we can see from the landscape of his victory, of the victory of John Dramani Mahama, he has basically taken 12 out of the 16 regions of Ghana. So this is huge. So the NDC have, so this map basically gives us an idea of, you can see it on the right, gives us an idea of the green section is the NDC and the NPP is the blue section. The blue section, as we know, only covers 4 regions of Ghana: the Ashanti region, the Oti region, and I think Upper East and some part of Upper West. So these are the only regions that are taken by the NPP. But the NDC literally have more than nearly 80% of the entire Ghana. And so this is an overwhelming victory, a clear victory for the NDC. How are the NDC going to manage the economy if they don't set up a probity and accountability task force to recover all these assets and resources? Will they take back all these buildings that have been ongoing in Ghana, taking it back into state ownership and renting these properties to the police, to the teachers, to the soldiers, to the to the ordinary Ghanaians, workers, so that this is actually generating rent income or rental income for the government of Ghana? Or are they going to leave these private looters to actually basically enrich themselves, continue to enrich themselves? These are things that we are going to basically look into. We are basically, here I am going to look at a video, the Ejapade video, which was done sometime about a year ago on Charles TVE. We're going to check that out to see what was said in that video. So here we go. Let's go. Welcome to the serial assessment. This is not by TFL Transport for London. Let's stop this video. Let's stop this. This is not the video. Private. This is not the video. We're gonna look historically at the videos and see what the first Ejapade document video or document. So we see here the first one, which we click on here. Welcome to Charles TVE, a channel that deals with real life situations that can. Once again, we stop this and we look at this video, which let's have a look here. When this video came out, this would have been about a year or so ago. Let's see, maybe we see the details on the side. Yes, this video was out there in October 2023, and it's had about 3,156 23rd October 2023. So this is where we put out the first Ejapade document, because there was also the Ejapa deal, which the Akuffo Addo government of friends and family were trying to use to con Ghanaians, right? So this is some aspect of this. We see the rebirth of a second JB Dankwa, who has come to the rescue, fully cognizant that we are currently part of the modern nation of Ghana, the name of which was originally proposed by the illustrious son of Oforipeni and Fee of Ochiman, LB. So in this video, we see that when the mandate was given to Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo Addo to rule Ghana, he actually turns everything around and looks after his own family and his clan, thinking that Ghana belonged to their own clan or their little family. And so he has ruled Ghana in this manner. With the Gabi Ocheredakons and the Asante Bidi and the was a guy named Bamti, his brother, and obviously we have the we have these two names that I've forgotten, but you know, all these people that Akuffo Addo had in his camp, you know, looting the coffers of Ghana, claiming to be the most intelligent and the most qualified, and basically seems that it was actually their birthright to actually rule Ghana. But that is a false thinking. And so today, Ghanaians have spoken overwhelmingly, you know. But what we are calling for is probity and accountability. And so all Ghanaians are hoping that our new president, or the former president, who is now the new president, taking over from January 2025, John Dramani Mahama, will have been given adequate power to seek probity and accountability. In the sense that, yes, it is necessary for any nation to borrow. Ghana is not the only nation that owes money. But the point is that when you borrow, do you invest? Do you invest for the nation of Ghana? Do you invest in agricultural projects to basically ramp up food production? Do you invest in industries? Do you invest in this one factory, one district, one factory? Do you create jobs for the people of Ghana? If you build roads, have you got tolls on these good roads to basically recover revenue? Are you building houses, state housing, to rent to state workers or key workers in Ghana to basically generate some rental income? Are you investing in Ghana? Or are you borrowing this money, sharing amongst your friends and family, or using the money for election, to gain election favors? Because we are very much informed of a government cabinet minister who had $1 million, or I don't know if it's $1 billion or $1 million, was found in that person's house, and the president of Ghana let that person go for free or protected this person. So there has been so many wrong things that have been ongoing, but Ghanaians have been clever in keeping that patience until this time and punishing the NPP administration. So if we look at the external debt, it has also projected, because we borrow the money and don't use it for productive purposes, it has been reflective in our exchange rate, because when we borrow money and we don't invest the money in productive purposes, what actually happens is that it dilutes our currency, and therefore it then becomes reflective in our exchange rate, whereby when the head of the economic management team, Dr. Mahama Dubaumia, who has currently lost this election, claimed that the former government, which is John Dramani Mahama, in 2016, claiming that the exchange rate of Ghana was 1 cedi to $4. He ridiculed this president here. But in their administration, Ghana, the dollar is about 17 cedis to $1, just because of this borrowing and basically using this money for unproductive purposes. This is what causes high inflation, high interest rates, and also higher exchange rates. We also have the issue of galamsey, where illegal mining has been going on in Ghana, deforestation, and the destruction to the Ghana river bodies. So we see rivers like River Pra, River Tano, River Oti, River Ankobra, and all these great rivers of Ghana had been turned into chocolate color because of galamsey, illegal mining. The president of Ghana claimed that he was waging a war against galamsey, but according to the Ejapade document, they had a plan, and they basically used their own proxies to actually participate in this illegal mining, which has currently left Ghana in a very dangerous situation. What is President John Dramani Mahama going to do about illegal mining? Who is buying the gold? Can we chew gold when, there is famine? No. Why is Ghana using its lands? Instead of using it for farming and for food production, Ghana is using its lands for illegal mining. And we also know that this is being done by mostly Chinese people in Ghana, supported by the government of Ghana. Unfortunately, because of the Constitution of Ghana, which was written in 1992 and revised in 96, this constitution, once again, constitutional reform, we call for constitutional reform as well. So this is something that John Dramani Mahama needs to look into, because a nation that says that a land that is owned by a family, the surface, what is on the surface belongs to the family, but what is beneath, it belongs to the nation. This is what gives the government the power to send military people to take people's farms and give it to the Chinese to mine gold in Ghana, destroying the river bodies of Ghana, because these river bodies sustain villages, i.e. in water supply. They sustain villages in farming. They sustain villages in fishing. There is so much that these river bodies does for the local community. Now people are dying because of this cyanide poisoning and all these chemicals that are being pumped into the rivers due to illegal mining in Ghana. Then we also have the story of the COVID-19 airport taxes. So the NPP administration under Akuffo Addo, President Akuffo Addo, and also Bawumia being the vice president. President Akuffo. So you see the man here. Let's get his image. So this is the man who has run Ghana to the ground. And so this man here, once again, capitalized on COVID-19 whilst he was getting money from external sources. He was once again charging every single Ghanaian or every single foreign person that was coming into Ghana $150. And this money he took for so long, even when COVID was over, they were still taking this money in the airport for their friends and family. The level of greed that Akuffo Addo has demonstrated, a man that I personally met and admired, I have been shocked. I have been shocked about the level of impunity that this man has demonstrated to Ghanaians. Then there is the COVID-19 taxes. So they were taxing Ghanaians used in the name of COVID-19. And the next thing, another issue here was the e-levy. They brought in e-levy. That means that people that were remitting monies to their families in Ghana, they will pay their transfer charges by when the money got to Ghana and these families wants to take the monies from the banking system, they will be lumbered with e-levy. They promised that this e-levy was going to solve all the problems, economic problems in Ghana. But guess what? It didn't. The free SHS, we've talked about it. It is a shambles. It never worked. And Ghana, the education system in Ghana is actually worse off than it is now. Then they talk about the one district, one factory. A one factory, one district. Is it one district? Yeah, one district, one factory. I get confused with this thing. Once again, I know a friend who had his own factory. The factory was not built by Akuffo Addo's government, but they went there, cut the sod, obviously prepared it, cut the sod as if that they had actually established that factory. But they did that so that they could give this friend of mine some sort of something, I don't know, some favor. And these are all pack of lies. Obviously, we've seen all these extensive Badu-Kusi, underpass and all these development, road networks, but it is all segregated only in the president's region, which is the eastern region, and some parts of Greater Accra region. And so this is a very, what do we call it, narrow vision of a man that have led Ghana and ran the nation to the ground. But we know also about the Ejapade deal and the Ejapade document, which once again from the October 2023, this document came out, and therefore a video was made. When the video reached Ghana, it actually circulated, and that video has been pivotal in bringing the scam and the schemes of this man and his NPP administration down. The Ashantis that have overwhelmingly voted for NPP administration must think twice that they should put Ghana first and party second if this nation is ever to progress. The next thing was the 60 billion black hole in the Bank of Ghana financial reporting. That was also in 2023. 60 billion amounts to about 4.5 billion pounds. These are huge sums of money that needs to be dealt with. And so this is why Ghanaians are calling for accountability and probity in the next administration. And so it is hoped that the incoming John Dramani Mahama government will actually bring in accountability and probity. This is not a difficult thing to do. Very experienced accountancy firms can carry out this work with the task force of Ghana to ensure that in the past 8 years, they can look at the finances of these people and bring them to account so that they will have adequate resources to actually rebuild the nation. Otherwise, in the next 4 years, Ghanaians are going to turn their back on John Dramani Mahama if they see that the economy is not turning around because of lack of resources. And so that is the call. Thank you once again for watching this video, and we know that there's going to be a lot coming out in the next few months. Thank you once again, and goodbye.